Hi everyone, welcome to 10 on the 10th, Christmas cards each month. I rejoined this collab hosted by MetalScrappinChick starting in July, and last month I made gnomes. This month I am using both of these bundles from the Sweetest Christmas Suite by Stampin Up. I did purchase both of them, and I am using for the first 5 cards the Sweetest Christmas 12 by 12 designer series papers. It's really cute, and I'll show you that as we go. I didn't use this or this because I didn't purchase those. I think I have some red glimmer, but anyway I didn't purchase those. And I do have this, and I used it on one card, and I'll tell you that as we go. Now for the first 5 cards also, I used this My Favorite Things WBC 146 design. I don't know what WBC stands for. WSC, excuse me. My Favorite Things. Anyway, it's a card sketch 145, excuse me. And it has this like torn, you know, like notebook paper, kind of little notebook. And I knew we had that, or Stampin' Up had that, and I went searching through all my sets, and I thought, oh, I hope I didn't sell that. No, it's brand new. It's part of the Happiness Abounds suite. These are the Blossoming Happiness dies, so I also used that on all 5 of the first 5 cards. So for the first 5, I concentrated on the Sweet Candy Cane, and I used these 2 dies, and this wishing you lots of love, joy, and happiness this Christmas season and always on all the cards. I used the paper and die cut these out of the paper, and on a few of them, couple of them, I used this wrapped in texture embossing folder, which is retired. It was one of 2, and I just liked the texture that it put on it. So let me show you the cards. Here is, well, actually the first 2 are the same. Here I used the candy cane paper and this paper out of the pack, and this is where I used that Happiness Abounds die. And then this is actually, I want to say 3 by 4 1/4, and I believe this is 2 1/2 by 4 1/4. On the white, which is basic white, I spritzed it with real red Stampin' Right. You know, I'm really into this splattering, spritzing, I guess it's splattering technique lately. So I did that in real red. These candy canes are in the paper, and I'll show you the pieces. When you work with that, don't cut your paper straight down. Cut it, you know, use scissors and cut it. That way you'll get some of these candy canes. Now this one's cut off already, but if a different design, you could use it on the edge, or you could use that part on the back. But I still have a couple left, and the 2 dies go different directions, and so it cuts them out really nicely. Anyway, I used that and this paper as the background, and I just used a plain real red. I didn't texture these, stamped in real red. This was my first one. Oops, we have cat fur. First one actually, because I used the stitched rectangle dies, and then I realized that this one would fit, which was the next smaller one. So on the rest of them I used this smaller one. And these are the red rhinestone basic jewels. They're in the annual catalog still. I'm pretty, yes, well, I think they're still in the annual catalog. I didn't write it on there yet. I really need to go through my gems. This is the ribbon, the combo pack from the suite. It's a little bit wider than I thought. It's real red and garden green 3/8 inch ribbon combo pack. This is retired. It was from the Heartwarming Hug Suite in the 2020 August to December mini catalog, and it's in real red. I really like this. It has like a twine feel, but it's flat. I really like it. So I used that, and everything is glued down except this. And then on the inside of all these, I think I just used a coordinating paper. So there I used the background candy cane paper. And they're on real red card bases, and this is real red here. So I think they came out really cute. So the next two are on Pool Party, but they're a little different. So this one is Pool Party. Now the paper I used, I'll show them both at the same time because the background paper is the same. The paper I used on these two is not from that pack. It is from Design a Daydream, which is a host paper in the annual catalog, and you get a ton of it, and it's very versatile. So I used Pool Party because they both have Pool Party in them and Garden Green, and this has Pool Party, Sweet Sorbet, and Garden Green, and then a pink that looks an awful lot like Blushing Bride to me, but they didn't specify that. Now on this one I textured with that embossing folder wrapped in texture after I die cut this the holes from that Happiness Abounds die. And this is retired ribbon. I think it might have been out of a paper pumpkin actually. Yes, I'm pretty sure it was out of one that had like little calendars. So I have this much left. Looks like it got some red or pink on it. And this is retired also. This was out of the Snail Mail Twine Combo Pack, and I think that's Blushing Bride, which I thought closely resembled the pink in here. Here I stamped with Garden Green, wishing the same sentiment, and but I stamped it onto Pool Party. This is a piece out of the Sweetest Christmas designer paper that these came out of. And I again splattered, but this time in, which you're not going to be able to see, in, oh my goodness, in Pool Party. Let me turn the light off. Still pretty bright. I think you can see it there. And these are also retired. They are from the Pastel Pearls, and they're actually Seaside Spray, but I thought they looked okay on there. And here they're out of that same pack, but I think those were actually Rococo Rose, but they look a lot like Blushing Bride, so I used them on there as well. And this paper is also not out of that same pack. It is from A Wash in Beauty. I went looking for what paper pack has Blushing Bride in it. This is the other side, and here it is. And I just thought that looked like sort of like old paper kind of thing. Looks like it already has texture to it, so I didn't add any more texture, but I did put texture on the band here, where here I used designer paper on the band. And I stamped again in Garden Green on that, and I think on the inside, yeah, both of these have this background paper, I'm pretty sure. Yep. And I used 3/4 inch wide strips. And then the fifth one of that design is your Sweet Sorbet card base, and this was a Sweet Sorbet paper out of the Sweetest Christmas. I don't remember what's on the back. Oh, a bold stripe is on the back. I used Sweet Sorbet cardstock and textured it. Sweet Sorbet ribbon, that's the new metallic woven ribbon, 1/8 inch. It's okay, but it's slippery, and I have to actually really put glue dots down a lot on there. And then I don't think I didn't put this in because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do for paper. I think I need to cut another little piece of this, so I need to finish that part yet. And I stamped in Sweet Sorbet, and the gems are the Iridescent Pearls Basic Gems, and I have 1, 2, and 3. This one's a little hard to see, but it's there. Okay, So I think they came out cute. So that's the first 5. And then sticking with that suite, I started to use the Christmas banners. And I used, I'm pretty sure, all the dies. Maybe not these 2 actually, because I didn't stamp some of these. I just used the ones that cut out by themselves. But I did use this, and this stamp. I used Merry and Christmas and Season and Greetings and Just for You. And yeah, so anyway, let me move that aside. I also used the larger 2 stitch circles out of Stylish Shapes dies, and they're current in the catalog. And on one of them, well, I'll tell you when I get there. Okay, so the first 2 cards are the same, and it is these. This is from the oh, I switched papers. And I started using the Painted Christmas. It was in the mini in 2021, but it's also in the mini, I should write on there, and 2022. It carried over to the 2022 July to December mini, and some of these I had already cut. Now I don't think these were ones that were cut, but the next 3 cards, the pieces I used were already cut into 4 by 5 1/4 panels. So I figured, yeah, no, I'm just going to use those. So these are on Real Red A2 card bases, and this is a Real Red basic white, and then I stamped this on basic white and die cut it in Real Red, and stamped the Season's Greetings in Garden Green because that's one of the colors in the background. And inside I didn't put paper, I stamped. On this one I stamped also, but it's on the same side. I kind of like the way I did the other corners better. Anyway, and then I die cut like 4 of these for each of the cards, and again the Real Red, or the red rhinestone basic jewels. So I really like those. They're very pretty. So like I said, the next 3, there were 3 different pieces of paper, and they were cut to the 4 by 5 1/4. But I had these 2 pieces of white, let me bring them both in, white cardstock where I cut the white circles out of here, and I did it in such a way. I could have made like shaker cards, but I decided not to. So this one brings in the pine cones. There's 2 big ones here, and on the next sheet there's the little ones. There's actually 2 of them. So I die cut the plain one in Crumb Cake and the outer one in Early Espresso because this paper has those colors in it, as well as Evening Evergreen and I think Soft Succulent. I splattered it with Evening Evergreen on this, and this one's on an Evening Evergreen card base. I cut that piece of 4 by 5 1/4 designer paper down so that I had a 1.5 inch piece by 4, and then this one is whatever the difference of that is to 5 1/4, so 1.5, I don't know, you do the math. Anyway, it's showing through the circle. I just glued this down onto there, and then on this one I actually used a 1 inch circle punch, which is not Stampin' Up, cut out a piece of Crumb Cake, I think, actually, to tack all these greens from, which are, I could have used this and cut it apart, but I used the dies from the Christmas Banners bundle, and then I glued that all down, and then I bumped the 2 pine cones up on dimensionals, and this is stamped in Evening Evergreen with Early Espresso for the sentiment. And then this is Evening Evergreen ribbon, open weave ribbon from the In Colors that carried over into the annual catalog. And inside I did that same corner thing, but I stamped off a little bit because the paper sort of has the 2-tone colors also. So that's that. Oh, and then these are beautiful. I need more. These are the 2021 to 23 in color opal rounds. I love these. They have just like an opalescence to them, like it says opal, but the colors are gorgeous and they look sparkly, and yeah, I just really like that. So, and I used it on this one, on these three, but in the soft succulent. However, I didn't use soft succulent in my leaves, my foliage. Here's the paper that I cut and did the same thing in the background, but I used different, instead of using the pine needle things, I used the other greenery. And I did die cut 3 of the berries out, and I put them in the center on a little 1/2 inch scallop punch, which is not Stampin' Up either. Just to have something to back them on. And then I use this stuff. I don't remember if this is still available. 1 second and I'll be back. I think it just retired recently, but it's the Shimmery Crystal Effects if you still have that, or if not, Glossy Accents that you can buy anywhere, something like that. And I put it on top the 3 die cut berry pieces that I had cut in Pool Party. I splattered this with Pool Party. I stamped this in Pool Party, and then this in Garden Green, because this is a Garden Green card base. And I did that same treatment inside, but with the different, more round tipped foliage. So that's that one. And then the last one, this was the piece of paper. I used a thick basic white card base, a mat of Evening Evergreen 5 1/4 by 4. So this I cut down to 3 3/4 by 5. And then this is a piece of Evening Evergreen. I did not emboss it because I knew I wanted a piece on top. And this I was actually inspired by, if I can find it again, here it is, by this, which actually, I don't know if that's a card or a box, and they put this on top. But that was my inspiration for this one in the style here. They did it a little bit differently. They don't have a band going all the way across, and they have that glimmer paper on top and bottom. But I put something underneath all the way across, and then they have ribbon under this, and I do not. So I just stamped a bunch of foliage, and I stamped, instead of using soft succulent and Evening Evergreen, or I could have used Pear Pizzazz too, because that's one of the colors in here. I just used Evening Evergreen, and I stamped off to make it look like soft succulent. And I used Real Red for the berries. It looks a little darker than, maybe this is Sweet Sorbet. I don't know. I don't think so. Real Red for the banner, Merry Christmas in Evening Evergreen, and then I used the Real Red rhinestones. And that little tiny strip I cut off of here, I put on the inside, but to make it look nicer, I did use an Evening Evergreen matte, and then just basic white on top of that. So that is my 10th card. I hope you enjoyed, and I will tell you, it took me a little while to make all these. Like 2 times half days, if you will. There's 2 of the same, and then all the candy cane ones, which are, I think these are 2 of the same, and then these were all different, a little bit different, but it was fun. I didn't do exactly the same for all 10 cards this time, but they're similar, just different. The papers were a little different, so I made the cards look a little different. And I will definitely use these for my family and neighbors and friends and things. That's my goal, is to make them that I'll use them. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed also. I really had a fun time making them, like I said. And please do go check out Kim, who is MetalScrappinChick. Hi Kim. And see the others that I'll link down below that are participating that I know of. And yeah, come back next month and see our Christmas cards for 10 on the 10th. It's more or less 10, so you might make 6 one month or 8 one month and 12 the next month, something like that. You know, I tried to make 10, 5 out of each bundle by Stampin' Up, so I could use them. Take care. Have a wonderful rest of your August, and I'll talk to you again very soon. Bye.